Welcome back to Weather Nation. Now, Sunday's severe weather threat swept through North Dakota, and that may have broken some records. So joining us now is Jeff Shield. He's a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Bismarck. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Now, your office in Bismarck believes that we could be surpassing the state record for most confirmed tornadoes in a year. Just how many do you expect to confirm after this weekend's event?
This would be for the state of North Dakota, so we coordinate with the Weather Service office in Grand Fork. Since we cover 2/3 of the state, they cover 1/3 of the state. But yeah, our previous record for a year was in 1999 when we had 61 confirmed tornadoes. It looks like we will be breaking that record. We were shy of that record by 3 before yesterday hit, and we will at least have 4 tornadoes. It will probably be more confirmed by the time it's done. So, yeah, we set the record for the year here in North Dakota.
Oh, that's exciting, I guess. Probably not. I know it's been super
Yeah, I don't
active.
know about that, but it's been interesting. We'll say that.
Well, could you put into perspective, like, what's the average number of tornadoes that the state of North Dakota can expect in a year?
With the state, it really varies, and it's kind of tough. A couple of years ago, we were in the single digits. And so we are a state that bounces around a lot, just given our climate. We're, in the northern plains where, tornadoes are not uncommon, but each year is, really different than the following year. So, I think last year we were only in the teens, and then here we have this for this year. So it really varies for us.
Absolutely. Now, your office, you spoke about this a little bit earlier, they're still surveying some of these storms. Are you seeing any major damage from the tornadoes that happened on Sunday?
Our storm survey team has returned, and yeah, we ended up seeing some damage in Sheridan County, which is about in the dead center of North Dakota. They ended up having a home that was damaged, and quite extensively, and also to a trailer house which was rolled over, and a pole barn which was severely damaged. Then down by Linton, there, I see it's on your map, in far south central North Dakota. We ended up with a large pole barn which was virtually destroyed, and multiple grain bins damaged. So, it's very unfortunate that we had damage from these storms, but to be honest with you, we called good because there were no injuries that we heard of, or no fatalities, anything like that. And we've heard reports of folks heeding our warnings and taking shelter, especially near in Sheridan County. There was somebody darn near right across the street that talked to us about how they heard the warning and hid, and it worked out pretty well.
I mean, that's probably the best case scenario. You can't really control these weather setups when they happen. And I guess material things are better to lose than human lives. But this setup that happened, you could see all those dots with the tornado reports. It was a little bit different than what you normally see in the plains. Can you talk about the weather setup a little bit more?
This really was a strange setup for us. Typically we'll have just the standard supercell thunderstorms, or even a line of storms with tornado spawning from it. But this was almost like a tropical setup for a while, or
Right.
more what you'd see in the southeastern part of the United States. We had very low cloud ceilings, they're right around 1,500 feet, 2,000 feet, running very low. We had a very high moisture level in the atmosphere, and we happened to have a low pressure system set up just in the right spot to create some strong low level shear, which was perfect setup for tornadic development. And usually, you have your map there that you were showing earlier with the severe storm reports, with the tornado reports. And for us to have just so many tornado reports, and hardly anything for hail or wind is, to be honest with you, unheard of. Usually we have a ton of hail reports when we have a tornadic outbreak like this,
So,
or wind reports. So this
right.
was very strange. And as you see, everything moves south to north, just, with the path that the low was taking. And also there was a corridor with that to heavy rain, which fell right along just to the west of the tornadoes. So we had either flash flood warnings or flood advisories at one point stretching from the South Dakota border up to the Canadian border. So it was a very strange situation.
Right, and I feel Bismarck, you broke a daily rainfall record yesterday as well. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Hmm.
we did. We ended up with I believe it was 2.6 or so inches. It was a lot of rain.
Yeah.
It was a heavy rain event for us.
Now, you briefly mentioned that this event didn't bring a lot of hail. Why was that so?
Just the excuse me,
Hmm.
just the way the atmosphere was set up, where it wasn't the very deep, supercells that were forming for us. It was just anything that was spinning was able to just touch the ground, especially with the low bases that we had. And, one thing of interest that I was just glancing at is we ended up with 24 tornado warnings we issued out of our office in Bismarck. And
Wow.
this has been one of those years where, you'd think, oh boy, when's the last time we issued 24? Well, it was just back in June. We
No
had
way.
had,
Oh,
had a
wow.
day where it was rough. So other than that, our record was 26 back in 2010 that we issued in one
Wow.
day.
Wow, a very active time for North Dakota. Well, Jeff Shield, we appreciate you taking the time to talk about kind of this wacky weather that North Dakota has been experiencing. Thanks for chatting with us today. We are going to take a quick commercial break and talk a little bit more about your regional headlines, so stay with us.